I'm Will Tachick, and this is an update on my mock from last year that I also brought to Brickworld Chicago.
And what is the story here of this build?
So, as I've been adding on, we started with just this castle on this Riverside, and we added more of a hill and landscape area into a swamp on the other end of it.
Okay, cool. We'll start with the castle, kind of for anyone who hasn't seen this build before, and you can start up here and then take us down, and we'll end with the swamp.
Okay. Well, the castle up here has it's fully furnished interior, and we just added some new lighting elements to the inside to make it a little bit more brighter. And inside of the mountain, there's a cave that has a fully functioning Lego Technic water pump that is able to pump water throughout the stream using centrifugal force.
So I know this was a new system for you guys last year, kind of figuring it out. Do you feel like it runs consistently now? How is that running for you?
I feel like it runs pretty consistently now, and after bringing this to a couple places, we kind of have a system down and we know what's going on.
Yeah. Perfect. So yeah, you've got the real running water kind of runs around here. So we'll move out now into this section. What's happening out here?
Out here, there's a stream, and we tried to add some Lego fish elements and a guy with a fishing rod to make it look like the water was running. There's a little windmill, a church area, and this brings us to the new addition, which we have sort of a hill and a landscape down. There's a old tower next to a tavern.
What's inside the tavern? Is there kind of an interior in there?
Yeah, there's an interior. Inside the tavern, I might not be able to get it, but there's, you can probably put the camera through the door there. There's kind of a little bar area with a couple of tables, so.
And some underground scenes here?
Yeah, we try to add something into the just kind of gray, plain wall to add a little detail to the build. So those caves were really difficult to try and get in there while all the plates were on top, and it kind of crushes in, and it's just a whole process.
And then you've got the carriage headed down to the swamp?
Yeah. And this swamp down here is the new water feature that we added. So the entire swamp is filled with water, and then there's an ultrasonic mister inside of it that kind of adds a rolling fog. And the goal is to add another castle on the end that's kind of like the bad guy's castle and have a skeleton army facing against the good guys.
So that's in the future to add that?
Yes.
Okay. Take us through the tree design here. How did you do that down? A very different approach.
I had all these random black pieces in a bin, and especially some of these one by one with a bar black pieces that I got on a pick-a-brick wall. And I wanted to make the trees look kind of spooky and scraggly, so I kind of just slapped those together and created these spooky trees.
As you've displayed this and more shows, have you noticed that the water affects the bricks in any way, or any kind of discoloration or anything like that?
There is a slight discoloration in some of the tiles that are in here. The river itself is sort of discolored, but mainly, like, Lego is meant to be waterproof. It's just plastic, so it does hold up pretty well.
Mm-hmm. And it's cool that you've got not only the real water, but lights and movement in here too. So how do you kind of incorporate all those things together and keep track of how you're going to make sure that, you know, it all stays running and the lights stay on?
Yeah, it's definitely a process. I mean, electricity and water don't really mix the best. But as long as you keep the wires out of the water and make sure that you give it a couple test runs while we're not using it, it usually works pretty well.
What is the apparatus at both ends here to kind of hold the water? How do you kind of, what's underneath there?
We have plexiglass tubs that are made to collect all the water. Lego isn't exactly waterproof, so it leaks throughout the whole build, but the tub is there to be able to catch all the water.
Very cool. And I know you've also participated in a collab over here. If you want to take us through this build too?
Sure. So this is kind of an Arctic scene of some sort. I started off with a bin of red pieces, and I saw this piece, and I was like, oh, this would make a really killer squid head. So I kind of built that squid over there. And then that kind of elaborated into, oh, what if there was an underwater scene below it? So I built the underwater scene, and then I was like, well, what if we had a real Lego like sheet of ice and no metal supports or anything? So I experimented with some Technic things, and luckily we were able to make it strong enough that that 2 brick thick sheet of ice is able to stay on top of the rest of the Lego build.
Yeah. And it looks great. What are some of your favorite details here under the water?
I really like that ship. I kind of try to make it look like an Arctic cargo ship, kind of crashed down in there. And also the fish elements that I added on last minute.
So many different colors of fish. It really adds just a nice variety for these types of scenes.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, great work here on both of these builds. Thank you for coming back out and just continuing to expand on your builds here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys too.